Well, I get a sense of wrongness with everything that's going on. I mean, as we said, it's not like it was 3 years ago, but 3 years ago wasn't like what it was 20 years ago, and on and on. But society we live in it's not very healthy.
How can it be made more wholesome or useful to the people in the society?
I think going back to, I guess our capitalist, commercial, energetic, youth-driven society is. I don't know. I mean, it's for me. I don't fit in with it, or never really fitted in with it. You know, I guess in a sense, something simpler perhaps, but I mean, simpler doesn't have to mean basic. It just means, going back to more community-based society. I guess not money-driven society. I guess where people are working. I guess where everyone is working towards a better world.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Now, I think you have a problem, like I have a problem. I have this problem, you see. I get frustrated with how long it takes for people to wake up and react to what's happening, yeah.
Well, unless the majority reject the system that's out there, it's. I mean, I don't see people. I mean, rising up. I don't know. I don't believe will change anything. I mean, they have all the. They produce all the weapons. They have all the weapons. It's. I guess if people just start saying no, and if people didn't participate, perhaps that would begin to drive change.
So do you think we can build a parallel society and just leave these people behind? Leave these psychos?
The psychos in power, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But how to get there, I don't know. I think if maybe it starts small and maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I think by, you know, well, we see with what happened down with lockdown, and you know, a lot of the measures and that they brought in weren't for anyone's health, really. It was more about control. And
you're saying there was no threat to our health from the thing that was on the news all the time?
Was there no threat to our health? I mean, for some, but like any illness or virus or injury, there's always a there's always a risk. But
the preventative measures they proposed, the injectable preventative measures, do you think those were helpful, or do you think they caused more death, suffering and injury?
From my own research, more death and misery. Certainly, if you look at the figures, I mean, it's difficult to get the proper figures, you know, but when you can, and if you look deeply, and it's all there. If you look at it from a rational mind, if you look at it from a, I mean, I think lots of people have lost their capacity to critically analyse and critically debate, and there certainly seems to be an agenda pushed towards polarisation in the world, which limits any kind of discussion, or you're labelled or put in a camp, and you know, I'm guilty of it as well. I sometimes think about, I don't know, I guess the mainstream masses, and I guess I'm as guilty as to labelling them or
sheeple.
Sheeple, yes, yeah. But it's also then that's another tactic of divide and conquer, isn't it?
It is,
you know,
and we've had all of them in the last 5 years, haven't we?
Yeah. But this acceleration and this harder push, maybe this will turn more people, or wake more people, or open more people's eyes. Or
have you tried waking people up?
Unsuccessfully.
Sending them videos or news clippings or graphs.
I've tried talking to many people. I've tried many. I've tried. I've come on aggressively. I've come on gently. I've just asked questions. I've tried to speak about my own research, but no, none of it has ever been successful. I've kind of stepped away from it now. I'm not sure really. I sometimes I'm starting to get the feeling that when people are ready, they're ready, and they'll take that journey themselves.
Do you think it's there's a spiritual dimension to this, or is it purely television propaganda that's causing people to have these crazy belief systems?
Is there a lack of spirituality? Certainly, yes. Again, it's something hard to articulate, like something that I would believe in. But certainly, there's I don't know, people would say God, I would say an energy, or that many people aren't tuned into, or it's suppressed from people. But I guess for me it's like there's a connectivity with all things, and I see that lacking in many
And you
people.
feel it here, don't you, at a meeting like this, where you can have free conversations with anybody about anything, and yet you try doing it to the people who watch television that aren't coming to places like this.
No.
You can't talk to them about anything, can you?
No, absolutely not. And people can act aggressively, which is something. And that's more so in the last few years.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened.
You could have old friends, family members turn their backs on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they could get nasty with it.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't been led to violence, but certainly. I've had some very heated conversations with family members, and interestingly, they all repeat the same things to me, like media words and terms, and I mean, it's much like the term conspiracy theory was just a fantastic invention of to label something a conspiracy theory, then shut off all conversation or debate about it.
Actually, that was coined by the CIA to stop people talking about the JFK assassination.
And we see it now again with I know from speaking to friends and family, and they use terms like misinformation and it seems to have the same that same power as conspiracy theory, even people who were very rational, very critical thinking minds, and up until this point, and then I don't know what happened with particularly COVID, and there just seemed to be no conversation with them at all about. I don't know what magic powers that had.
Well, it's fear. I mean, the fear-mongering was intense. It was
Absolutely.
The fear of death,
yes.
And every day labelling deaths
Yes.
that were never more than an average number anyway.
No.
They never got above 7,000 a day, which is the average number of people that die in a country with 60 million people.
And I may be corrected here, but I think the background debt at the moment is at an increased rate.
40% above normal, those
Yes.
aged 18 to 64, working age.
So,
Yeah.
and again, we hear nothing. There's no panic in the media, no panic with the government.
It means their plan is going well, doesn't it? That, the injection plan has gone well, that they got away with it, that people are popping off.
I don't know. I mean, I think the rate,
Drinking tea.
rate came out recently, and I think it was perhaps the figure was 64% of the country or something, or was it? I think.
Yeah, it's always more than half everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a large minority out there who rejected it, and I guess we don't know also with
Drinking tea.
really what that term means anymore. Like, does it mean you've got 1 or 2 or 3, or is it?
Or it used to mean it would prevent you catching the disease and passing it on. But now we have so-called breakthroughs, don't we?
Yes.
What's that all about?
Yeah. Well, even the word
Drinking tea.
I mean, it's gene therapy. It's actually not
Drinking tea.
as we know them as inoculations.
Wow. Bang, you are spitting truth, man. Thank you for this chat. That was a great conversation.
Thank you. And yourself, where do you see? Do you see a light anywhere, or?
Can you name one globalist puppet political leader anywhere in the world, anyone, who's got a smooth ride right now?
Non ce la facciamo più, non ce la facciamo più, dovreste essere con noi. A Roma, sì, a Roma dobbiamo andare, a Roma, perché non è più possibile. Tralala machen sollen. Und da,
And there's the filth up there. They've been circling, and they think they're intimidating, but actually we know we're intimidating them.
Whether you are from England or Russia or Ukraine, we always get fucked by all of these crises.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to Britain.
We should be prospering because people are so genius. Like even come here, you see so many people doing amazing things.
The globalists would cull our numbers by 95%. But looking back in history, 1 in 7 men died to win the English Civil War. 1 in 30 men died to win the American War of Independence. And 1 in 50 people died to win World War II. At those odds, yeah, we'll win.